Root Healthy Plants.
Terrence here at Root Healthy Plants. Today's video, we want to harvest the vegetables that we put on our dinner table. Join me as I go through my food forest in my front yard and backyard to see what's ripe. Let's do it. So just getting a little closer, we can see not much is happening on these squash vines here because the groundhogs have been eating them down. But right here in my bean section, we do have some ripe Tabasco peppers. So we're gonna harvest these first. I'm gonna put the camera on the tripod and let's get these out. All right, just set this plate here over the squash real fast and let's get some of these peppers out of here. These are nice and ripe and some are orange, some are red. And oddly enough, these peppers are pretty small. This is my first time growing Tabasco peppers. If you watched a previous video, you may have noticed that these are the peppers that I got for free. There was a nursery getting rid of them and they gave me a nice amount of fruit for free. This one's shriveling up a little bit, but we'll harvest this one for the seeds. But that's why it's important to come out here and harvest them when they're ripe. We have some more over here, and I'll just take the ones that are really more red and allow the rest of them to ripen up more. All right, so far so good. This is how we're looking so far. Got some tiny Tabasco peppers. Let's see what else we can find in the food forest. So we got the bean section. Lots of beans coming in. What else is ripe? Anything else? And this is the first row in my garden or food forest. We have three rows back here, but we're in the first row right now. Let's see, we have some nice tomatoes coming in, but they're not ripe yet. Let's see, got a ton of beans coming in. Lots of beans. We're gonna have lots of beans. We're gonna harvest a bunch of those coming in a few months. We'll definitely have some beans to harvest. We just gotta push, prod, and check. We got some volunteer tomatoes coming in. That's why they're not standing up and trellised. But I just want to check. Oh, we got a ripe one in there. We'll take this one off, little cherry tomato. Anything else? This is why I leave volunteers, because we end up getting food production from, oh man, a few fell off. We'll take those, and they're starting to ripen, which means that they are going to finish ripening on the counter. Yeah, let's see, anything else? We got one that's starting to ripen here. I'll take that one off. This right here, this one's going to ripen on the counter for sure. But we have a bunch of tomato production in there, plenty. We got more in here, more over here, and these are all volunteers, like I said. This is almost like a tomato patch in this section, but I'll leave it. All right, not much going on in the raspberry section. I think the raspberries finished producing for this year. Let's keep walking around. And now we're starting the back of the second row, and we got some beans coming in here, some tiny squash. We don't get a lot of sun back here, but these are different beans. I think I put black beans in this row, so I think these are black beans if I'm not mistaken. But we're gonna make our way down, see what's ripe. We want to make sure we don't miss anything. A lot of stuff growing. What is producing? What's producing? Ooh, look at this fig tree is growing up. Look at that. Oh, we got action. I see some color here, and we got some peppers coming in here, and some over there. I'm gonna have to get a better angle. Let's hop on this other side and get a better angle here. We have some cayenne peppers that we're gonna take off here. We got another one. Nice. We got another one over here. Now let's look at the difference between the cayenne pepper and the Tabasco peppers. You can see the difference between the cayenne pepper and the Tabasco pepper. Not a huge difference, but there's a difference. But we're gonna make hot sauce with both of them, but I just wanna show you what the difference of them side by side. And we have more cayenne pepper right here coming in. We got some green ones. We got a red one here. I'm gonna take off the red one. Nice. Oh, this one's starting to go bad a little bit. Feels pretty soft. I don't know if we're gonna use it or not. I mean, it doesn't look like any animals or insects burrowed into it, but it's definitely overripe. I need to come out here and harvest more often. The groundhogs have been doing a number in this backyard, so I've been kind of not really having much growing on, but also being discouraged by what the groundhogs have done. We still have plenty of production. The one thing that the groundhogs have not been eating are my hot peppers. Look at this tiny little cayenne right there, tiny little thing. I'll take that off because simply, like I said, I just want to encourage more production from the plant. And we don't need anything else taking energy away from ripening the ones that are already on the vine and producing more flowers. So we want to get that out the way. Anything else that's screaming my name? We got a cayenne that's ripe right here. We'll take this little guy, get him out the way. We got a volunteer tomato down there. We'll take this little tomato there. Another one fell off here. I don't know if this is going to ripen on the counter, but we'll take it. Looks like a dead tomato vine. So because the vine looks dead, the tomatoes aren't fully rotted or dead or anything, but we'll take them in the house to see what happens. And is there anything else look at all this beautiful rosemary right there. I love my rosemary. Anything else fruiting happening? Not right there. And we're heading into the third row. Plenty of basil, tarragon, but what's ripe? We got a squash coming in right there that the groundhogs left. One of the only ones that they left. And we have these overripe eggplant. Now, I'm not going to eat these, but I'll cut them off. These are part of the free plants that I got from the plant nursery. But I'm going to cut them off to see what happens with the plant. But these are absolutely overripe, and I'm going to throw these in the compost. So, we're moving too fast. I almost overlooked this bell pepper right here. So we're going to cut this bell pepper off right here. I'm going to get this off so we can start producing more bell peppers. This one's cool. We'll take it. What else is going on? No pepper production here. Not yet. Got a decent amount of volunteer tomatoes here. I forgot to point out a lot of the air layers that I'm doing on my trees. So a lot of these trees back here in my backyard are air layered, so we can produce more fruit trees. Ooh. We have a little bell pepper coming in right there. I got a good mind to take that one off just because of how it's forming. I don't know how big this one's going to get, but I might leave it on. Let's leave it on and see what it does. But they're edible right now for sure. All right, we got some pepper production here. Let's cut these peppers off and add them to our collection. Let's do it. Want to be sure to not cut the main stem, only cut the pepper. Now they can be pulled off, but I don't want to put any extra stress on the plant. So I'll try to be precise with the cutting. So we got 3 dropped right there. And then we have some on the ground here we got some, just how this pepper plant is growing. These are just laying on the ground. They're not ripe yet, but this pepper plant is not standing up for some reason, but it's all good. As long as they're growing and producing, I'll take them. As long as they're not rotting, being on the ground, I'll take them. And I'll leave it there and not even trellis it. So I'm just worried about the production, not the aesthetics of it. So I'm going to try to cut a couple more off this vine hanging down here low. We got 2 of them hanging on there that's ripe. Okay, we had 2 in there. Add those to the bunches. All right. And we got a ton of volunteers here. Volunteer tomatoes, a bunch of just volunteers and more volunteers. And this comes from composting. All my volunteers come from pretty much composting into my growing medium. And we have some bell peppers right here. I want to take this one off. See, when they start to get heavy enough, they start to make the plant lean. I want to make my plant stand up. And especially with the early ones, because the pepper plant, see, it just stood right up. The pepper plant is not fibrous enough. It's not strong enough to not lean over when it has a heavy fruit on it. But as they start to grow and mature, they won't lean as much. So for me, the early peppers, I'll cut off and just eat those just like that. This plant has a few bell peppers on it, but it's not leaning. Oh, it's got a bigger one down there. And this one looks like it's starting to turn red, maybe reddish. But I want more pepper production than trying to get the biggest pepper. So I'll cut this one off and we'll add this to our collection. It's not about the biggest, prettiest fruit, but the most of what you can get out of your garden or food forest. We got more ripe cayenne. We're definitely gonna make some good hot sauce out of these peppers. We got more over here. These bugs are tearing me up out here. Dang. I got long sleeve and gloves on, and they're like getting in between the glove and the long sleeve, the wrist on the long sleeve. More cayenne pepper. Yeah, we'll make sure we don't cut the main stem. We got some cayenne in there. Cut them out, snatched them off the ground there. And look at this. Sometimes we have like fallen tomatoes like that, and if I know I'm not going to eat it, I just put it right back in the soil like that, and maybe next year we'll get volunteers popping up. We got yellow pear tomato over here that has fallen. Now this one still looks good. That's a ripen on the counter. I'll take this one, bring it in the house. But if I have one that I'm not going to bring in the house, I throw it right back in the soil so that it can start to produce volunteers for the next year. Or this year if it's early in the year. Well, we got another ripe cayenne right here, along with the ones that have yet to turn. All right, not bad for a light day. It's a light harvest, and we're just seeing what's ripe, checking the status of things. You know, if I get an eye on something and I know it's like likely to ripen in the next day or two, I know I make sure that I come out here and get what I came for. You've got one yellow pear tomato right here. That's ripe, pretty one. That's nice and juicy and yellow. Got another cayenne right here. Let's get it. Everything counts. I got my grapevine, and unfortunately, this produced so much grapes. These are actually grapes for jam. But the groundhogs ate everything off of here. They ate all of them. There were so many bunches of grapes, and the groundhogs ate every last one of them. You see right here, the Concord grape, it produced plenty. Both of my grapevines produced a lot, but the groundhogs ate all of it. Disrespectful little buggers, didn't leave me anything. I'm not trying to catch them and relocate them. Well, I'm just trying to put one between their eyes, because that's frustrating. Put all that money, time, and effort into producing good food for my family, good healthy food, organic food, just for the groundhogs to come and eat it all. And not save me none. Got another fig tree right here. Nice. Let's see, this other grapevine, did they leave me any one? Just so I could show you what they look like? Look, they left a little one right there. None of them that are ripe. It's like a skeleton of what was there. They left the ones that are unripe. Disrespectful. Oh man. All right, this is pretty much it for back here right now. They ate the broccoli down, but we got some broccoli growing back here. Well, yeah, they ate that down, tore that up. They tore all my broccoli up back here. This is what we got so far from the backyard for today. Let's head to the front yard, see what's going on. So before I head to the front yard food forest, I just want to check on this glass gem corn. We are starting to produce some of the cobs right there. Got those little furry hair hanging out. Yeah, we're starting to produce some cobs. Part of the problem that I had last year was they didn't pollinate each other enough. So I didn't have so many that close that I don't know, I forgot what these are called. These little tassel looking things. And they weren't pollinating the kernels or the cobs enough that it was producing enough kernels inside of the husk. And we have some that produce well. We had some that were, almost like halfway producing or barren, half barren, because of the lack of pollination. But I think because of how densely I planted them, we're going to get a lot of good pollination this year. This is actually too dense, but I wanted to see as an experiment how much production we would get out of these. So I planted them so close together, so close that we're going to see how well the production is. Next year, maybe I'll spread them apart just a little bit more of like how conventional corn farms are. But this year was more experimentation. We are now headed into my front yard food forest to see what's going on. And look at all the bean production. Lots of beans, and that's the goal. These are clearly black beans, as you can see from the beans that I put in the ground. Another one, black beans right there. Lots of bean production. And let's see, let's walk through this area and see, try not to step on much beans here. So I planted this a bit in a way that doesn't really allow me to walk through here too well without stepping on beans. So we got my peach tree right here. This didn't produce this year. I think next year we're gonna get some peach production out of that Siberian peach tree, but we gotta go through my allium and bean patch here to see what's growing on. And they volunteer tomatoes producing. We got some tomato production, but they're not ripe yet. Look at our gorgeous marigolds here. Got some on the ground that fell over. A couple more. We got more gorgeous marigolds as pollinators, but for some reason they're not standing up. I think the wind knocked them over. It's all good. I'm really just checking to see in this bean patch if there's any. Oh, and you can tell right there that the beans growing from beans. You can tell that these are black beans right there by the black bean shell. And there's more black bean shells. But I'm looking for volunteer tomatoes or squash or anything. I don't really see a whole lot. We see the squash leaves, but I don't see the squash right now. It's all good. We'll leave them out here. Just gonna make sure I don't miss any volunteers here. All right, so far so good. More beans in there with the kale. So I gotta kind of navigate through here. So I got sunflowers on this side. The sunflowers are all like, you know, some are dying, some need to be cut off. Looks like the birds ate most of these sunflowers in here. I cut off a bunch of, ooh, this one's still a good one. So I think I'm gonna cut off this sunflower head. The ones that still have a bunch of seeds in them, I cut them off and bring them in the house and grow the seeds for next year. So we'll cut off that head. Let's take a look at this one. This one looks weird inside. Looks really depleted. Yeah, it feels really depleted and not really a whole lot of pollination, or the birds ate it all out. I don't know what's going on with that one. It looks like the same with this one. Not a whole bunch. There's some seeds right there. I'll just drop those to the ground. So I'm just going to cut these heads off because I don't want the plant giving any more energy to these ones that are not doing anything. So we'll cut this off and we can potentially get more sunflower heads this year with the plant not giving any energy to ones that aren't doing anything. But that one, where'd that one go? I think one of them had, this one has plenty of seeds in there, so we'll take this one. But inside all these beans, we have some good Tuscan kale here that I don't have covered up. We got a few holes in the leaves, but not bad. Not bad. We're gonna come out here another time and harvest this Tuscan kale, because this is, for me, this is a little tough for salads. I like to put my Tuscan kale in my smoothies, but the bugs are tearing it up a little bit. Let's see any moth or moth larvae on the bottom, and you can see right there, those white spots right there. Those look like the little babies of what would be eating the leaves. Yeah, you can see a ton of the babies and stuff that what's eating leaves. So I gotta come clean these leaves off, clean off the bottoms, because if I don't, this is what the leaves look like. Torn up. The bugs won't leave anything left. They will eat all of it. They will, trust me. If you don't already know, I will come out here and all these leaves will be gone and they'll be completely eviscerated. But just wanna look at this summer squash here. We're not getting any production out of this one. I already took a massive squash off of the summer squash, but we got some new leaf production right here, which gives me reason to think that we might end up getting another summer squash out of this one. This is one of those, I forgot, Italian, or I forgot what kind of squash it was, summer squash. This was one of those like elongated, curved, green and white striped squash. And it was pretty good, but I want to step through all this beans, plenty of beans, and I got so much more beans to put out here, but I got to get through this area. So I just put out here a bunch of turnips. I'm gonna step through this area just to see if we got anything else growing on. You know, I'm gonna walk through the sage. I mean, we could harvest the sage, but I'm not about to do that right now. The sage, the thyme, more thyme. We got our elderberry bush. Oh, we might want to take this elderberry. This looks ripe. It could get a little bit more ripe, but this is pretty ripe right here. I'm thinking about just taking this, I don't know what this is called, maybe a sprig of elderberry, because you can see the birds are tearing this up already. And I don't want the birds to eat all of it. So I'll take this little sprig, for lack of a better term, just cut that off, and we'll add that to our harvest. Now, if you don't already know about elderberry, elderberry is poisonous before you cook it. Don't do that. Elderberry is poisonous fresh off the vine. You might get the bubble guts. You might get, I don't know, you might get diarrhea, the bubble guts. You might throw up. You might need to go to the hospital. It might, who knows what it might do, but don't eat raw elderberry. Don't do that. That's a gem. This is our pear cactus. I'm waiting to see if some of the ones that I broke off are going to root, because I put them in the ground here, and I'm tempted to pull them out and check. Let's see. Ooh, they're starting to root. You see that right there? This pear cactus is starting to root. You see the little root right there? Little white root. I put that in the ground and it's starting to root in two spots. So right there and right there. Nice. I'm gonna put that back in the ground. I wanna make sure I don't do it aggressively. Just gonna put that pear cactus right there in the ground just like that. It's already rooting. So I'm gonna leave the other ones alone. I'm not even gonna check these, but I broke pieces off of this one and put it into the ground just like that. And as you can see, it just rooted. And we're gonna get more pear cactus like these two. You feel me? All right, we're gonna go past our pawpaw tree. We got a little volunteer tomato here. It's not ripe. Anything else that's ripe? Walking through. We got broccoli coming in. How's our broccoli doing? Not great. Not the greatest. Our broccoli has seen better days. It's not ripe. Not yet. But that's another broccoli patch. Let's walk over here. We got squash coming in. This is another squash patch. I mean, it's not looking the greatest right now. It was definitely looking a little better. It had better looking days. But the thing is, we still got squash in here. And that's what the goal was. So we got another squash in there. We got another squash down there. You can see that. Is there more? Oh, we got another squash hanging on a fence there. I mean, that is the ultimate goal, isn't it? To grow squash. Regardless of how it looks, we got another squash right here. Nice. The goal is to produce squash, not to make it the most prettiest looking squash patch that doesn't necessarily produce. But we're producing some squash, and this is the salvaging the squash seeds because in the backyard, the groundhogs ate pretty much all of my squash, and I put a squash patch out here that we are growing directly into arborist mulch. Nothing else but arborist mulch. Granted, there's dirt under it, but I put about 1.5 to almost 2 feet of arborist mulch, and I put squash seeds directly in it. And the arborist mulch has been breaking down for about 5 or 6 years, so this is really good arborist mulch for growing in. Not root vegetables, but if it's not root vegetables, for the most part, it's very good to grow in. And then I got my fig tree right there in the middle. That's a Chicago Hardy fig that's right there in the middle. But let's get up out of here. Hazelnut tree. Let's go look at, oh, those beans are pretty. Milkweed magnolia tree. I bought this blue Atlas cedar from plant auction. Let's do it. I'm with my kids and we're gonna go to our front yard food forest and harvest some nectarines. They are ready, they are ripe. Some of them have been falling off the vine. Join us as we go food shopping in our front yard. Y'all ready, babies? You guys ready? All right, come on. Let's walk over here to the front yard food forest.
Food forest?
Yeah?
Yeah, I know about foresting.
You know about foresting?
Yeah.
Okay, come over here.
Where?
We have to open this up over here.
That doesn't look like a forest.
This doesn't look like a forest in here? What? What are you talking about? This is a food forest. You see the beans? You see these beans right here? They're growing still, but Dad put all these beans out here. These are going to be black beans. And then we have broccoli growing.
Right there.
You see it?
Yeah, right there, black.
Wow.
I'm gonna step around. What are they?
What are they?
Yeah.
These are berries from our dogwood tree. Those are not edible. Okay, so we're gonna come over here. Let's go straight ahead. You see the tree with the fruit on it? We're gonna leave that squash there. We have
That's
to.
a baby.
Yes, that's a baby squash. We have to leave that there, and it's gonna grow into a big squash that we can bring into the house and eat. But do you see the tree with all the nectarines on it?
Yeah, right there.
Who wants to get the first one?
Me.
Okay, hold up the bowl for your sister. Okay, let him pick some too.
It's all right.
Hey,
One drop.
one dropped. You guys are good helpers.
Yeah.
Take your time. You two are picking a lot of fruit. Put them in the bowl. Who's holding the bowl?
Me.
Put the bowl on the ground so you don't drop it. Put the bowl on the ground so you don't drop it, buddy. Now go ahead and pick some more fruit and put them in the bowl. You two are doing great. You're doing so good, baby. Here, put them in the bowl now. Okay, put the bowl over here so I can see it.
Here?
Yes, right there. Now go pick some more fruit.
I'm the tall sister, so I can reach the ones up high.
You can reach the ones up high?
Yeah, because I'm the big sister.
Because you're the big sister? Good job, baby.
I can't reach one.
I know, buddy. Watch out for the squash. Don't step on the squash. Come over here. Can you see any more fruit on the tree? I see one more at the top, baby. Be careful.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, that's what.
Is that all of them? Let's look at all the fruit. That's a lot of fruit you got there. You got nectarines. You both pick one and let me know what it tastes like.
Regular nectarine.
But we grew them in our front yard.
Let us know what it tastes
Now I'm gonna taste one. They're small. They're small, but they're ripe and they're ready. So I'm gonna taste it and see what they taste.
Because they say good.
Oh, they're amazing.
This one tastes a little sour.
That one tastes a little bit more sour,
Yeah.
but is it still good?
Yeah.
Okay, it's good. All right, but these are amazing. I want to do 10 more of these trees.
Wow. So good.
Wow. They're putting the seeds in there. We're gonna save those seeds. It tastes so tasty.
Yeah.
You love eating nectarines for food forest from your own nectarine tree? Let's bring some in the house for mama. So here are some of the results of my front yard food forest harvest. I had my kids come out and harvest my nectarines. As you can see, some of the pits right there, they couldn't wait. They devoured the nectarines, devoured them. Here are cayenne peppers, my Tabasco peppers, some volunteer tomatoes, some bell peppers, and some elderberry. We had a fairly decent day harvest in our food forest, and this is what a typical day may or may not look like. Not the fruit so much, but everything else is a pretty typical day. I did have a dogwood tree almost directly over top of this nectarine tree, so that did not get the amount of sunlight that it should have gotten to maybe produce bigger fruit. And on top of that dogwood tree, there was another massive tree that's blocking out even more sunlight. But I'm still happy with the production that we got, and you can't argue with organic. I didn't spray my tree with anything, just threw netting over top to ensure that we got some type of fruit production. So I'll taste this again on film. Oh, goodness, this is amazing. Oh, I'm gonna eat this whole thing. It's tiny, but they are so juicy, so sweet, and so invigorating. The pits are still the size of regular pits. So even though the fruit production is not as big, and we got at least 30 nectarines. I counted 30. So I'm not mad at 30 nectarines on such a small fruit tree. And this is the second year in the ground. I put it in the ground last year. It started to produce. It was producing when I brought it home from the nursery, but when I put them in the ground and fanned out their roots, make sure we didn't have any girdling roots or suffocating roots, the fruits fell off. So I think that's why people say like the fruit trees may produce their second year, not their first year. But I'm happy with the second year production, even though the fruit are so small. But these are amazing. I let my kids pull them off the tree, and they started eating one. And before they were finished eating the one, they're already grabbing for more. They couldn't stop eating them. They're so sweet and juicy. Oh man, these are no-brainers right here. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna cold stratify these seeds right here. So I'm gonna wash them off. I'm gonna put them in my refrigerator. I'm gonna cold stratify them for maybe about a month. They say maybe like 2 weeks is good, but I'm gonna cold stratify them for about a month, and then I'm gonna put them in a nice growing medium, and I'm gonna grow more nectarine trees from seed. I have a ton of cherries that I'm gonna grow from seed. So I bought a bunch of Rainier cherries from the grocery store because they're ripe this time of season, and I saved the seeds. So right now I'm cold stratifying my Rainier cherry seeds, and I'm going to cut them, bust them open, take the seeds out, and put them in a nice growing medium, and I'm going to grow more cherry trees. So I'm gonna make that for a later video, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it. Stay tuned. Let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Let me know what you want to see me grow, what you want to see me harvest, what you want to see me talk about. Until next time, I appreciate you. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Terrence here, Rue Healthy Plants. Keep it growing.